Hey, thank you for joining me. I know it's been a while. Summer has me busy in work, but mostly just summer has me busy. So I hope you guys are having a good time and enjoying your summer. Hope everything is good. Look, today it's like light mist and the temperature has dropped and it's 70 degrees. It might be 68 degrees now. But just yesterday, temperature index was 109. So, look, I like hot weather because I'm a summer baby. But the cool weather today does feel kind of good. So again, thank you for joining me. And we're going to pick up with It's a Part of Life. And we're going to pick up, they had gone to Baltimore for the fashion show that Marie was in, and she had her models with her. So they were at Shelly, their cousin Shelly, and her husband's house. And they were eating crabs when Shelly's brother Henry came in with his wife and a friend of his. They had also attended the bash last night. So now Alan is like, well, I wasn't expecting to enjoy a hair show. I was just going to keep an eye on my big sister and give her support. But I can truly say I enjoyed the show and the after party. Man, everything was solid. Seeing Trina looking fixed up in that hair and crazy makeup with that skimpy dress had me feeling kind of real good. I guess the excitement of the show and us getting away for an exciting weekend helped Trina and I to have some much needed fun. So when we got back home, I thought I wouldn't call Debbie again. I was hoping this feeling that was in our house would stay. You know, that little tingly, warm feeling, that warm, tingly feeling did stay for a while, or at least 3 or 4 weeks. Trina and I were in bed watching TV while the baby was in the crib, almost snoring. And I was thinking to myself, we've been arguing off and on. Maybe we're just in a rut. We'd been doing the same thing day in and day out. It was making us lose the thrill of being together. Trina had gotten up to get a magazine to read while watching TV. I drifted off to sleep, thinking maybe, again, we're just in a rut. Well, Tuesday morning, we woke up to do our usual routine of getting ready for work and getting the baby ready. Me kissing them both before I walked out the door to go get in the car to head off to work. Trina didn't drive and had no desire to learn. That I didn't understand because she liked to go places. Anyway, after I left for work, about an hour later, she'd go over to Mommy's. Mommy would drop off little Alan at the babysitter first, drop Taz off at school, which was just around the corner from the babysitter. Then she'd drop Trina off downtown at the phone company. Then she'd swing herself to work, which was also a few blocks from the babysitters. I got home before Trina, so sometimes I'd pick something up for us, pick up the baby, then off to pick up Trina. You know, the daily drill was going on again. As time passed, unfortunately, things had gotten back towards normal. I started going out a bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. And yes, I had called Debbie 2 or 3 times. Now get this. Somehow, she had found out where I lived, and that shit wasn't cool. She mentioned to me that she knew where I lived. I said in a plain way, but really to myself, it was a hopeful way. You do not. She said, yes, I do. I saw you one day as I was leaving Dunkin' Donuts. We were pulling out the exit as you went by us at the light. So I told the girl I was with to follow your car. Well, the girl wasn't lying. She did know where I lived and what my family looked like. I thought to myself, I hope I ain't starting some shit here. At the same time, I didn't let her think it bothered me that she knew this bit of info on me. Sometimes, you know, if you let someone know something that they know or did bother you or worry you, they'd hold it over you. We saw each other again about 2 weeks late after the occasion where she told me she knew where I lived. Let's see, I think it was a Thursday night when we got together this time, and everything was good, everything was cool. The next day, which was Friday, I went to work as usual, came home, and hung around the house there for a while. A friend of mine called to ask me to come over and watch a game with him. So I was like, yeah, sure. I went around to my parents' front porch where the family was sitting, watching people in cars go by, so I could tell Trina I was about to go over to Steve's to watch the game. I had already had a sip or two of wine before I left the house. And on my way to Steve's house, I stopped around the corner to pick up some liquor to take with me so we could make some drinks for the game. When I got to his house, there were a few other guys there. We drank, watched basketball, and yelled at the players the rest of the night, the day into the night. Once, while I was watching the game, I thought about the argument Trina and I had earlier in the day. So now Marie's going to speak. Marie says, I had somehow gotten myself so busy being a divorced mother, going to school, working part-time, doing shows, and doing everyday things. Mike would come get Monica some weekends. He'd call my Aunt Kate and schedule the info. If it was good with Monica's and my schedule, she could go. If not, he'd make other arrangements to take her another time. In our divorce, we agreed to let him have her for the Christmas holidays and 2 to 4 weeks out of the summer. I admit he was good about taking his daughter and spending time with her. Yeah, he was a good father, even if he was a poor-ass excuse of a husband. When he could pick her up, then Aunt Kate would give me the message. Time was just whipping by. I had been so busy. I received a call from the woman from Boston about their show coming to Asbury Park soon. She was telling me after hearing where I was from, after talking to her partners, they were interested in me participating in the show at the convention hall in Asbury Park. I thought, heck, that's the next town over from here, where I live. A lot of big shows in the entertainment business went on there. Now I've heard it's about to be right in my own backyard. This could be outrageous fun about to happen. Over the next week, I had pretty much told everybody I knew about the show and where and when it was going to be. I had 3 months to prepare for this show. To be honest, I needed at least 3 months to line things up and try to finish school. I could have between 3 to 6 hairstyles displayed in the show. I chose to have 4. That way I'd be able to show short and long hairstyles, braids, and naturals. But having 6 styles seemed to be pushing a little too much because during the second half, I'd be modeling 2 outfits. Now, I had to round up my models again. I had to see if they wanted to be down. The people I thought of for this show, they had their hair pretty much the way I could use it, or they wouldn't mind me cutting or coloring their hair if necessary. I enjoy showing my versatility. So, let's see now, where did I just leave off? She enjoys showing her versatility. Mike hadn't taken Monica for a weekend in a couple months, but he was coming to get her this weekend. I had her little suitcase packed, so she was ready to go. Him picking her up for a weekend every now and then gave me some time to myself. But a weekend was enough time because by Sunday afternoon, I was missing my baby kind of bad. Warren was talking about coming down to see me for this weekend, but I asked him not to. I explained to him how busy I have been lately and how I needed some time to myself to completely unwind and relax. He was disappointed and almost a bit agitated, but he tried to hide it. Another minute or two of talking, and he had gotten over being agitated, but he was still disappointed. But he also told me he completely understood me needing time to myself. He's so darn understanding, I thought to myself. If he lived close by, I'd be glad for him to come over for 2 or 3 hours, but not for the whole weekend. So it had to be nothing or all weekend. I stuck with my nothing at all. My telephone had a really long cord, so while he and I were running our mouths on the phone, I started getting Monica ready for bed. She was actually able to do it herself, I thought to myself. God, she was growing up so fast. She had mostly everything. She did mostly everything herself. I just checked and double checked her to make sure it was done right. Except for her wiping herself after going to the potty. That was still my job. Clean up. Well, let's see. It was about 30 minutes later when Marvin and I hung up the phone for the night. I tucked my little girl in bed, then got myself ready to go to bed also. Tomorrow, Monica would be leaving for the weekend, and I was excited about taking a long, hot bubble bath Friday night and laying in bed studying for my finals and sleeping off and on through the night. You know how it is. No schedule, so you take cat naps whenever you want to. Well, Friday afternoon, Mike came to Aunt Kate's and picked up Monica. As they got ready to leave the apartment, I kissed Monica and told her to be a good girl, and Mommy will see her in a few days. She didn't cry when we went through this routine. She was happy to go spend time with her dad. But on the other hand, when she was ready to come home, she'd pick up the phone in a minute to let me know it. I then told Aunt Kate, thank you for everything, and asked for a ride to Mama's. Aunt Kate dropped me off in front of the door. I walked up to the driveway, past my mother's and father's house, going to my brother Alan's to see how they were doing. Trina and little Alan were home. Oh, you on your way out? I was just stopping in to see how you guys were doing. And so I thank you for joining in. I hope you have a good day, a good night, a good weekend. And if you like, please hit subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I wish you love and peace. And thank you for joining me.